Hello, Geeks and Gamers. Matt Lemke here with Two Gamer Goggles, and we're still at the Palladium Open House. I know that you've probably heard that a lot by now, or maybe I got these out of order and this is the first one. But I'm with Rex Barkdoll. Did I say that right?
You did. Yep.
Good. And we're going to chat about a new app that they are making for Rifts. And if all goes well, it's going to be for all of Palladium and Robotech and everything else they do within that system. And it's a character creation app. It's in the alpha, so there's not a lot of cool things to show you. Like, you know, all the art, nothing's really finalized. It's alpha. Hasn't gone to beta yet, so how far off do you think beta is?
Probably this, like, midsummer is going to be where beta is. And I think beta is going to go actually pretty quickly. Beta is going to be where we get a core group of testers out there, people who already play around with their own character sheets, which are pretty advanced, and then just some general players and GMs who want to be able to kind of play test this a little bit. What you kind of see, and I've developed my own Excel character sheet that has some math behind it. You know, there's other guys that have developed their own crazy awesome.
Some of them are nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest challenge for you has to be the scope of the universe.
And that is literally...
I would have started with fantasy, personally.
Well, and so part of the beauty of Palladium is that Kevin has tried to really keep the universe pretty universal. So things can kind of transition. You know, you take a hero's character and throw them into Rifts, or a Rifts character and they end up in Splicers or whatever. And you can shoehorn things into different systems, and they're not completely different. It's not taking a Palladium character over to Paranoia or a White Wolf or something like that, where the things literally don't translate. There's no way to really translate them well. The beauty is that you kind of can shoehorn things into the Palladium basic character sheet, like you find on the website or in the back of the core book of any of the systems. And so there's obviously variations, and those kind of things, the variations for systems, for, you know, there's different skill, like the same skill in different systems has slightly different stats. That all is going to come in later versions when we start adding in math. Right now, version 1 is literally just a platform for you to be able to digitize your character. So it's not doing any of the math for you. It's literally just providing fields where you can put all of the stuff that you see on a standard character sheet into a digital format, and then it'll publish it for you into a PDF, which then you can save to your computer and take to your game if your GM doesn't want you to have like a laptop with you. But you can have it on your phone, you can have it on your tablet, you can have it on your desktop, and it's all digitized for you.
So you still have to do all the work.
You still have to do all the work in version 1.
Right.
And the reason for that is there's a lot of caveats, especially when you go to, like, leveling. That's
an understatement.
A lot may be an understatement. So for instance, you know, skills are pretty easy. You have +% per level, and then you have your skill. So if you have something like climbing, and let's say it's 5% per level, and a base skill of 35%, it's probably not right, but for example, and then you go to level 2, and you add 5%, level 3, add 5%, 4, add 5%, that's a pretty basic calculation. But take something like a hand-to-hand combat. So you have judo, you have boxing. Well, when you're at judo level 1, you have the base stats, and you're like, okay, that's level 1. When you go to level 2, it's like, okay, here's some modifiers that increase or decrease, and then also throw in, you know, judo punch and judo kick. And then level 5, you're like instant knockout, instant crotch shot, you know. So it really gets into a rat's nest of craziness, and in order to really get people excited about this and give them a platform, I figured players could live without that for a version. Let them start playing with this, let them digitize their characters, and then their characters will be able to continue to live in the app in future versions as well. So you're not going to lose all of your characters when you go from version 1 to version 2. You're going to still be able to keep them and keep all of your data. But as you progress in versions and we add more features, you'll be able to do more with them, and some of that basic math will be taken care of.
That's a good thing. I mean, and actually, when you start talking about martial arts, that's... If you add the Ninjas and Super Spies book, that is an immense task. And that's just the original Super Spies book, because wasn't there a second book that added a whole bunch more styles?
Yep. Yeah, and it's not one of the core systems that I am familiar with, so most of my personal experience comes from Rifts, Nightbane, Heroes, Splicers, so I'm kind of familiar with those, but I'm basing this on just a general character sheet platform which you can shoehorn your character into. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect.
Well, it's good. I mean, that's a great start. That's what a lot of other game systems do.
Right.
You can find a character sheet that does blah, blah, blah. Well, there are a few out there that do some pretty good things. Like, I played a lot of 3.5. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember the name of it. Oh, Hero Forge was a great spreadsheet system.
Yeah, and I've played around with Chummer, which is good for, I think, Shadowrun. Chummer 5.
I didn't know that Shadowrun had a good one out.
Yeah, well, it's a third-party app. I like that I can partner with Palladium. Kevin and I have worked together on the new version of the website, and we're looking at updating the website again so that we have more of a responsive design, more security updates, and those kinds of things. So we're looking forward to that. But I like that Kevin is so interactive with his artists and writers, and also we added a term called the Vanguard, which like Nimi, who's on the forums, and Tom and myself are members of, and it's just kind of general support staff. The Megaversal Ambassadors are another group who we all network with and work.
So this is actually your day job too?
Day job is working on websites, so yeah, I've got my own company building websites for small businesses and large businesses alike. And then this is what I like working with Palladium on the side. They've when we first did the website together back in 2010, I started working with them, and the guys here are just so cool and so creative.
2010, that long? Huh?
Yeah, it has been a while. Wow, way too long.
Yeah, this is him.
Ta-da!
It's like, free promo.
RexBarkdoll.com.
Right.
Seating
So let's take a little bit closer look at the app.
It's basically a responsive website. So the cool thing is I've designed this, and it fits on your phone, it fits on your tablet, it fits on your desktop. And it's using basically the exact same software. Nothing really changes between the three platforms. So on the home page, you'll have an initial page for the app, which just kind of describes the features. I used some of the Nokia N-Gage platform artwork for right now, just because I actually really like it. Some of the stuff that they developed came out really well. And this just kind of describes each of the sections. So there was character sheet generation. Here's create traveling shows. And I've also added in creating a mercenary company. So that's pretty freaking awesome. Then we have some additional features down here at the bottom. I've got a dice roller, a battle tracker, a dictionary, a fact page, character creation rules, just basic Palladium character creation rules, some of the tables that we always need to use for like 16, 17, 18 stats kind of things. And then I'll be adding in video tutorials on how to use the app once we get to that point. So if we come up here and look at create a traveling show. Oops.
Apparently you're not connected to the internet.
That is a problem. Alright.
I blame Microsoft. So any chance you're going to do this in Linux?
Well, it's a web app, so
Yeah, I guess it already is.
it's available for every platform.
That was a dumb question, people.
Not necessarily.
I should have thought first.
Alright, let's see if this looks...
That's good.
Alright, so here we are back.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, you can see a little bit more of the artwork. Full screen that. come over here to extras and go to Mercenary Company. There we go. So cool things with the Mercenary Company, and I'm doing this because this demo is really finished. I'm going to load up the Crazy 89's demo, Mercenary Company. And so you can put in your name. If your GM is allowing you to have extra points, you can toggle the extra points section. And that'll open up and you can add in those extra bonus points. And then as you go through the sheet, you just check off the stuff that you want. So let's say this is a large company that is funded by a criminal organization. They have some open wardrobe. They have no internal security. They have 3d6 plus 6 smugglers. And as you go through the sheet, you can check everything off. There's a lot of fields, so I'm not going to worry about all of those. But down at the end, you can see that we have the total points remaining, the total points used, and the total points that were available when you selected your first two options at the beginning of the character sheet. Another really cool feature is that as you're going through checking off these things, if you want, you can open up the sidebar over here, and that will calculate your point totals on the fly. So you can see how many points that you have left. And I hope you can see that on the screen, but they're jumping around as I steadily reduce the number of available points that you have. And then when you come down here, you can prepare your PDF. It's going to give you a data URL. This is a new HTML5 spec, which is pretty cool. Basically, it allows you to create a data version of the PDF, and then you can come in here to a blank tab and paste it. And there's also a download option, so you can actually just open it directly in Adobe or your favorite PDF program. But you can see if I open it up here in the browser, then the stats that I chose, large company, criminally funded, and then each of these stats in here are actually automatically filled in, and your history is statted out on page 2. So it's all, whenever you update the sheet, you just generate a new PDF, and you can print that out and take it to your game, and it's all calculated for you.
You would just save it to your phone or whatever. Yeah,
exactly.
For your record.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So yeah, take it with you, print it out, whatever you need to do.
Okay, if you save your PDF, when you come back to the website that's currently the alpha testing site, do you have the option of opening up your old file to edit it, or do you have to create a new file?
You basically create a new PDF. So the PDF that's generated is a static PDF. It's not a PDF form or where you can have like editable fields.
Right.
Right. So this is basically what it's doing is rendering a picture that ends up being a PDF. And so all of these fields are basically checkboxes. So it's saying if this checkbox is checked, then fill in this box. And it's a static field. So if you go make any changes back here in the app, all you do is you just go ahead and prepare a new PDF. It updates, and then you just print off a new one or save a new PDF. So it's not going to update like if you save a PDF, that one's not going to be updated. You just have to generate a new one.
Right, so if I go from second level to third level, I basically start at third level with a new character.
Right.
With the same name.
Right.
Which is all good.
Because it's expecting you to update all of your information in the app.
Right.
Right. The paper version is simply something that you can print out and take to your game. I have some GMs that I work with that don't like having computers at the table because people get distracted. You know,
I can understand that.
So this allows you to print that off and take it in a non-online form.
Well, it's a good stepping stone. I mean, it's something that like I told you before we started, I had a dream about a Riffs app last night, largely because I've had a weird week. A dream about an app and character creation, because I kind of think that with modern technology and just the way role-playing games have evolved, if you can't do a character in effectively most of your character in 15 minutes or less, you're kind of hurting yourself as a publisher.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think that really to capture the attention of this newer generation,
that helps too.
You know, you really have to be digitized, and that's why we want to get to versions like 2 or 3 pretty quickly, because at that point we'll actually be providing DLC content with character classes and racial stats and stuff.
That's great.
And so you get your base character, and then you're allowed, once you've loaded that and saved it, then you'll be able to modify that template that you're provided to whatever your character is going to be.
And that's
And it just saves you a ton of time, and all you're doing is making the tweaks instead of writing everything out. And so, version 1 has that limitation, unfortunately. But as we all know, the Palladium universe is infinite, and it's a little bit rough to try to put everything into version 1. So I figured provide the platform, and from there we can always expand on that.
I think that's a great idea. I mean, that is awesome. What are as you develop this platform, are we going to see new little toys pop up on the actual on the Palladium site with possible possibilities?
So there's a lot of stuff we can play with, and especially since I'm a web developer by trade, it's what I know and what I love.
Well, I want to see Samuses flying across the screen, man.
Well, as fun as that would be to have little Samuses trailing your mouse all over the screen and trying to shoot it down, it's a little bit 90s Flash for my tastes, unfortunately.
So do it in 3D.
But so a lot of the things that I found in developing this is one thing that's really easy to do are these creation tables. So when you talk about like a mercenary company or a traveling show, that's actually pretty easy to code, especially now that I've done it twice.
Yeah, I can see that.
You kind of copy paste it almost, and then you just kind of tweak some things.
I mean, I'm not a coder, but my wife knows enough about it that she talks to me, and I half the time I kind of pretend I know what she's talking about, but I get the idea. And my wife is really smart. She makes things look easier than they are. So that helps too. But I know that with my work, they develop tables, and I'm like, I'm not dumb. I know that you don't have to ask me this question 3 times on this report.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of the intelligence that we want to add is...
Oh, intelligence! That's a good word for it!
Yep. Well, making this smarter so that you don't have to worry about being smarter.
They want you to be lazy.
Exactly.
Which is good for when you actually don't be lazy playing the game.
Mm-hmm. So, some of the stuff, like little goodies that we've talked about, are adding in more of those creation tables. So in one of the Dimension books, there's a table for creating planets. In Rifter, there's a vehicle creation table for creating vehicles. It's above 50. It's in 2 of them.
So it's fairly new.
Yeah, it's fairly new. So I wanted to go back through the Palladium universe and figure out what all of those creation tables were and add them as separate add-ons, or maybe as their own apps or what have you, for the Palladium universe. And then you can just go ahead and code that out, or just check off the stuff that you want, and it gives you a printout of whatever you've been working on.
I think we've covered this.
Cool. If you guys have questions, rexbarkdoll.com is my website, or Seeding Serenity is my company. Feel free to submit questions or suggestions or comments. I would love to hear them. Recommendations, hopes for future plans.
So I guess I do have one more question. I might have missed her in the interview because I was thinking about questions too. Where is this available to the public yet at all?
No, it's not, and that's really because even I was coding it as of yesterday.
So it's
very green. Yeah, very green. To get it to even an alpha state. Actually, I handed it to Mark Oberly, and he was like, "Oh, cool! This is awesome. Hey, what if I click on this link? Oh, it crashed." I was like, "Okay, let me go update that." Updated that, and he refreshed the app, and he's like, "Okay, well, here's another link." Clicks on the other link. Oh, it crashed again. Yeah, so this is an alpha, literally brand spanking new. It's not even
neonatal.
Yeah, it might be. And it's hard, as a coder, you sit there and you're like, oh, well, I inherently know not to click on that button, and you don't even think about it after a while, and then somebody else comes along and Oh yeah, that whole
I would-
red button you're not supposed to push. Totally pushed it.
I'd push it.
Yeah. So
I don't know any better.
it's not available to the public yet. I'm looking at doing a beta over the summer. It's really close to being done. Really, when I say alpha, it's literally that I haven't done any quality assurance on it yet. I haven't gone and clicked every link. I've literally gotten done testing the saving of characters and loading of characters back into the app once you've saved them. So all of that coding is done, and now I'm getting to the point where I'm in the middle of being able to generate all of your character's information onto a PDF. So that's what I'm coding at the moment. And then after that, all of the heavy lifting for the app is done, and it goes into the beta, where I'm going to have a core group of testers beta test it and get to play around with it and give me some feedback, and then we will launch it once they're done and I've made those updates. So
And I'm assuming that it's going to be pretty much good on all browsers.
yeah, all browsers, modern browsers. So this is using HTML5. So the requirements are you need a modern browser. If you use anything like IE 8, 9, or before, I pity you with every ounce of my soul. I have to do browser testing at work every day, and the more people we can get to modern browsers, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, IE 11, I love you if you're on those browsers. If you're on anything older, please upgrade. Please.
Yeah, it's free.
It's free. It's awesome. And it makes my job as a web designer so much better. Yeah.
There you go. He's on his knees.
Please. So yeah, we'll have app versions basically. Those will be available for every platform. I'm using a really cool technology called PhoneGap, which is created by Adobe Cloud.
Oh.
So they recently purchased it, and basically what it allows you to do is create an HTML5 app and then port it to every platform. So it just kind of wraps it up specially for that platform, and there you go. So when it's ready, desktop, tablets, all kinds of stuff will be able to use this, and it'll be ready to go. Because I want to make sure as many people can get a hold of this as possible. Because it's about time that we get something like this.
I agree. I think the timing is kind of funny since I was dreaming about it. But there you guys go. It's new and it's exciting. This might be actually more exciting than some of the books that are coming out. So
I don't know, man. Some of the books, man, I've been dreaming about those
I
for
actually
a while.
am really kind of, after talking with Kevin, I'm looking forward to Disavowed a lot.
That definitely sounds cool.
If nothing else, just to get ideas to write stories about.
Yeah.
So, anyway. Are you going to make Gen Con with them, or you don't know?
No, probably not. I have a ton of website clients right now that are keeping me on my toes, and working on this really just requires a lot of kind of downtime to just be able to focus on this. So actually every day when I'm commuting, to and from Denver from my home, I'm basically coding on this and hammering on it and finishing it. So it's a process, coding, especially as a one-man team, is pretty rough.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at expanding my team in the future, and we'll see where that goes. But for right now, that's what it is. And I probably will not make Gen Con, unfortunately.
All right. Well, anyway, you'll see me if you don't see any other videos and watch my channel. Shame on you. At Origins. Hopefully you're there. And if not there, you'll see me at Gen Con. So until next time, thanks for watching, guys, and enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Thanks.